Hi, good morning. And like I always ask, how's your weather? Outside here, where I am, it's unbelievably gorgeous. How about in your house? Are there other people? What are their moods like? How are you guys getting along? How are your pets if you have them? And what about inside of you? How is it inside of you? Just notice. See if you can give it a name, a word, a few words. And then what I thought we could do today is a little bit of mindful breathing, and then what I think is my favorite of all the practices I've ever done, which is learning how to take care of feelings. And we've been outside of our regular routines for a long time now. I've talked to people, including people in my house, whose patience is wearing thin, who are feeling tired of the people we're trapped with, or tired of being alone, tired of being trapped with themselves, whose personalities are beginning to grate on each other. And so we can't change the people around us, right? We can't change the people immediately around us, although many of us try. And we can't change the people in our community, and whether they're doing what we think is the right thing, or whether they're overreacting or underreacting or being greedy or being clueless. We can't change that. And we can't change the world. We can't change how people are relating to each other and handling things, which is kind of hard in a way, but it points to something that's important and not hard, which is we can work with how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to the world. So today, let's start with, we'll just do a few mindful breaths. So find your posture, that balance, upright and relaxed. Feel how it is to sit like that. If you're not doing it, try it. It changes how I feel in my body to sit upright and then to relax. It makes me more, I don't know, feel like I'm right here, right now. And then let's just do five breaths. Let yourself breathe in and notice how it feels. And out, just at your own pace. Notice it coming in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. And I've got one more. And then, is there a feeling that's been going on in you? Sometimes that's a tricky thing to figure out, because you might be thinking, my mom is so annoying, and you might not recognize that's a feeling. And so, or you might be thinking, my brother took all the best snacks. How obnoxious. Or you might be thinking, this whole thing is, I'm tired of it. I just want to go to the playground like I usually do. Trace those things back. So if you're thinking about something out there, trace it back. Okay, how do I feel? Cranky? Excited? Maybe you're like, wow, it's so beautiful. I get to go outside. I don't have any schedule. It's going to be great. Maybe you feel happy, excited. Maybe you feel worried or scared or nervous. See if you can give it a name, the feeling. And maybe you're not having much of a feeling now, but when you woke up, you were having a feeling, or yesterday at dinner time. If you're not having much of one now, you can just remember a big one that happened. And if you can, see how this feeling shows up in your body. How do you know you're having it? Sometimes if I'm scared, it shows up in my stomach. My stomach gets tight. If I'm angry, it more often shows up in my chest being tight and my shoulders. If I'm excited, it usually feels like a lot of movement all over the middle of me. Just notice if you've got an emotion and what it feels like in your body. And if you can't tell right away, that's okay. Kind of let it be in the back of your mind. And over the course of the day, see if you can notice when something comes up, what it feels like. And then I want to try two things. One is if this feeling was a color, what color would it be? And just see what pops in. If it was a shape, what shape? If it was an animal, what kind of animal would it be? Answers may pop in, or you might be like, I don't know. Doesn't matter. If it doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. Just let it go. But if you have an idea of it, just notice that. And then there are a few ways we can deal with feelings. One is to pretend they're not there, or like to stuff them down. It doesn't really work. I always think about like holding a ball underwater. You can do it, but if you get distracted, it pops out, or you really can't play when you're holding the ball underwater because you have to focus on that most of the time. Feelings are that way too. We can hold them under, but it takes a lot of our attention and a lot of our effort, and it's easy to lose control of them. So hold them under. Another thing we can do with feelings is just act them out. If you're excited, you can run around jumping and leaping, and if you're angry, you can yell and throw things. The third thing is to notice them and choose. So if you're stuffing them down, you might not even know what you're stuffing down. If you're acting them out, you might not even know what you're acting out. But when you take that first step of noticing, okay, what is it? I'm feeling angry this morning. Then you have a choice because you've got awareness. As soon as you have a choice, you could still yell at someone, or you could try to stuff it down, or you could imagine that this feeling is okay and it's just a feeling and take care of it. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches this beautiful practice of imagining your feeling as a baby and holding it like a baby. So if you're angry, it's a tricky one at first. If you're angry, imagine you're holding this little angry baby or angry kitten or angry puppy or, anything that kind of makes sense to you. Imagine you're holding your own feeling like it's a baby or a little animal. And you're just going to hold it and keep it safe until it feels better. And for me, I like to close my eyes and breathe into it. Just breathing in, I notice this feeling I'm holding. Breathing out, I let it be here just for now. Breathing in, I'm aware. Breathing out, I let it be here. Sometimes when you do this, the feeling gets a lot stronger. Sometimes it disappears. Sometimes nothing much happens. It's okay, whatever happens, see if you can just keep holding on to the feeling in a loving way. No hurry, no pushing it. And just for now, imagine it's okay, this feeling is in you, it's okay. Just gonna hold on to it. And if it feels good to you, you can also imagine that there is some big loving person holding you. It might be like you imagine you're sitting on a person's lap who's really helpful, the person who makes you feel good and safe. And they're holding you while you hold the feeling. You don't have to do it by yourself. Just really imagine you have some kind of really loving, warm, protective presence. And if you're an adult and doing this, sometimes it also helps to imagine a being, you feel supported by someone who you revere, who you could imagine is just holding you in all of your imperfection, all of your emotions. And however you're doing it, just breathe into it for a little bit longer, breathing in, feeling what you feel, breathing out, just allowing it to be what it is. Thich Nhat Hanh, when he teaches this, says, "My darling, I'm here for you. I'm here. My jealousy, my anger, my resentment, I'm here for you." And just imagine being there for it. And when you're ready, come back to regular attention. For me, sometimes it takes a long time. And sometimes it's really hard to want to do, especially if I'm scared or mad or, worried or any of the more challenging emotions. It really is hard to sit with them and feel them. But every time I do it, it's like a magical shift happens, because the feelings, they don't really usually need to be acted out as much as they need to be felt. And after you feel them, this is what happens for me. If I'm, say, really mad at someone for something, I'm not sitting to feel my feelings to make the mad go away, but I'm sitting to feel my feelings to let myself connect with wise choices. And then when I stop and maybe I don't feel so tense with the mad, then I might be able to say something wisely. I might be able to say, that's not okay with me. It's important to me that you leave my stuff where you find it unless you ask, or whatever it is. And I can still speak up for myself and be clear. But when I take care of my feelings first, I can speak up for myself in a more warm way, a more loving way, and a more straightforward way. And so we aren't taking care of the emotions to make them go away. We're taking care of them just to take care of them. And afterwards, sometimes you might be like, no big deal, it's gone. And sometimes you might be like, okay, now I can speak clearly. Sometimes you might even think, oh, I see what I did here. And you might feel like, I'm going to apologize. There's no one way it needs to be. But what this practice helps you do is reconnect with your own wisdom and take care of your own feelings. And in times where we're staying in our own house a lot and not seeing a lot of people, sometimes it's really important to have this tool. Okay, thanks for watching. Please let me know how it's going for you. Okay, have a beautiful day.